Hi, I am Addy from anicaps Recap, and this is the anime recap of episode 4 of the Shangri-La Frontier. Previously, we see Raku, a trash game hunter, who quickly became engrossed in a new god-tier VR game called Shangri-La Frontier. He manages to defeat the bridge boss, but then face RecapKun, one of the 7 unique monsters known as the 7 Colossi. RecapKun proved to be much stronger, and after the battle cursed Raku. He then encounters a bunny named Emil and discovered a hidden unique scenario, transporting him to Rabbituza, where he met Rabbituza's boss, Vayash. The story continues with Rei, who visits a game shop in search of Rumi Hizutome, but she isn't there. The shop owner asks Rei if she has crossed paths with Raku in Shangri-La Frontier, to which she replies that she hasn't met him yet. The shop owner isn't surprised, knowing that Raku tends to venture off the beaten path and create his own unique journey in the game. She assures Rei that sooner or later she will find Raku, and when she does, she can express her feelings, leaving Rei with a red face. Meanwhile, Rumi Hizutome leaves her home for something very important. On the other side, Raku is busy reading about unique scenarios for beginners in Shangri-La Frontier. He learns about the conditions required for triggering the tour of Rabbituza. Anyone who defeats a higher level monster equipped with Vorpal weapons will have a special bunny appear in any town to invite the player to Rabbituza. The bunny will continue running without saying a word, leading the player to the Laganian Python. Once a player defeats the Laganian Python, they will learn the enchant Vorpal spell. However, this is nothing like the unique scenario Raku played yesterday, and he recalls his encounter with the boss of Rabbituza. The boss questioned Raku about the Vorpal soul, after which he told him that he'd be happy to get him up to snuff if he is ready for it. Raku suddenly realizes that it's a training quest, and he can gain unprecedented buffs. He bows down and accepts the quest, but calls Vayash the Aniki, which shocks Vayash. He gets up and starts walking towards Raku as if he's going to beat the hell out of him. Raku begins to panic, thinking that he might have chosen the wrong answer. But it turns out that behind that menacing face lies a funny character. He likes Raku's words a lot and begins to pat his back, which, for some reason, doesn't look comfortable. He tells Raku to call him just Vash, as that's a privilege he gives to people with potential. He then puts Raku under Emil's care, which she happily accepts. Afterward, Emil asks Raku to take a tour of the palace, but since it's been a pretty long play session, Raku decides to take a break. Emil then takes him to one of the palace's inns, and he is happy to be able to register his respawn points there. Before going to the inn, Vayash throws a forced equipped item at Raku, which binds itself to his neck. A notification window pops up, saying that he has acquired a Vorpal soul collar, which makes the user acquire half the experience but multiply their stat points by 2.5 times. Since Raku needs extraordinary hardship to become stronger, he can't even take the collar off unless Vayash allows it. Emil thinks the collar suits Raku, but he is sure he has been saddled with another restriction. Back in the real world, Raku does his research and finds out that nobody on the game forums knows about Vayash or the Vorpal soul collar in entering the palace of Rabbituza. So far, it seems he's the first one to find out about this unique scenario. He notices the time and gets ready for his appointment with Katsuo. Raku takes out another trash game called Berserk Online Passion, which is filled with bugs and glitches, and logs in. It's a fighting game that Raku once got deeply into, but now its player base has dropped to a mere 100 per day. Only those who know each other and are trash game enthusiasts are still playing this game. Raku then meets Katsuo in a PvP match called Veil Tudo, which is filled with bugs and glitches and everything goes in it. During Raku's absence, Katsuo made a new move using a glitch. He starts attacking Raku, giving off some One Piece vibes. He manages to dodge Katsuo's attacks, and then uses his own special move. He starts attacking Katsuo, and even though Katsuo is using a delay glitch, he's impressed that Raku is still able to block his attacks. Raku manages to break one of Katsuo's hands, but due to a bug, he still lands a powerful blow and knocks out Raku, securing a victory for himself. For the last few weeks, Raku has been fighting only NPCs in Shangri-La Frontier, and getting a beatdown from Katsuo is a good charge up for him. Later, he tells Katsuo about the 7 Colossi monsters of Shangri-La Frontier. So far, the player base has managed to get the names of just 4 of them, and not a single one has been beaten since the launch of the game. After learning that Raku encountered one of the monsters, but got beaten easily, Katsuo decides to play Shangri-La Frontier as well. He also points out that he has emailed someone, telling them that Raku is playing Shangri-La Frontier. On the other side, a player gets a notification that Raku chose Shangri-La Frontier, and she wonders why a trash gamer like him is playing this god-tier game. Afterward, she single-handedly defeats many players and talks about guiding Raku. Meanwhile, in Shangri-La Frontier, Raku, along with Emil, exits Rabbituza. He then decides to go to Thirdrama before more players get there. Since the summer break, many new players have logged in, and soon there will be fights over monsters and mining spots. Raku wants to get to Thirdrama as soon as he can, and Emil is there to help him. Emil then requests Raku to be his party member, and he accepts it. He checks Emil's stats and learns that she has better stats than him, and speed is the only place where Raku has a slight edge over her. As they are about to leave for Thirdrama, they get surrounded by two players who find Emil to be super cute, and start asking how to tame a Vorpal bunny or where to get it. Raku realizes that he's the only one who knows about Emil and this unique scenario, and before Emil tells the other players about Rabbituza, Raku shuts her mouth and runs from there. As they are running, one of the players manages to get a screenshot of them to later ask in the forums. After getting out of the city, they encounter a sheep monster who comes running towards them, but upon seeing the Lycagon's cursed marks on Raku's body, it starts running in the opposite direction. Raku begins to chase it and manages to corner the monster, and when he gets an opportunity, he stabs the beast and acquires some points. After that, Raku along with Emil heads towards the area boss and comes across a swamp. He opens the map and realizes that the area boss is nearby. Suddenly, Emil's ears pick up something, and the ground begins to shake as a giant shark-like monster called the Mud Digger emerges from beneath the swamp. Being trapped inside mud with less favorable conditions, this might be the worst match Raku has ever been in, and this is where this episode ends. Thanks for watching this anime recap. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more anime recaps like this. I will see you in the next video.